Perfect. Okay. It's for our guest speaker later. So who wants to read Promise and Law? Can I get a couple of volunteers? We got a lot of girls today. Perfect. I saw Macy and Emma. You guys good? And then Brianne, I'll have you can do something later with me. Okay, let me screen share. Who wants to do the short one? The promise.
I'll do whichever one.
Okay, Emma, how about you do the short one? Let me screen share it. All right, so we'll just follow after you guys. We don't have to repeat because there's always a weird like lag on Zoom. So right hand up, 3 fingers.
On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law.
Excellent. Good job. Macy?
The Girl Scout law. Do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsibility for what I say and do. I just lost my place. Respect authority for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others. Respect authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout.
Perfect. You did great. I know it's hard on Zoom to like, I always find it hard to read like when people screen share because it always gets really tiny. So you did great though. All right. So does anyone know what badge we're doing today? Any ideas? You can unmute yourself and shout it out if you know.
Science?
I heard science. I don't know who said it.
Me.
Your name's not Mark. That's your dad, right?
Yeah, my computer died.
Okay. Spell your name for me. I'm gonna rename you.
ISA.
Izzy?
Isa.
Isa. I-S-Y?
A.
I-S.
We're going for.
Okay, there we go. Molly says, I know something with science, but I forgot. No worries. So today we're doing the STEM Career Exploration Badge. So does anyone know what STEM stands for? The acronym STEM? Lisa?
Science, technology, engineering, and
Numbers?
the
Anyone
I
know
can't
what M? Anyone know what the M is? I saw Leah's hand go up. Oh.
Math.
Math, yes, great job. So science, technology, engineering, and math. So sometimes that sounds like a little wordy and a little boring. And you're like, well, what does that even mean? So we're going to go over it today and we're just going to talk about like different careers that you guys might be interested in. And it's going to be great. So STEM is actually really exciting. There's a lot of opportunities to get a job that you're really passionate about because there's so many jobs, so many outlets that you could explore. Oh, I see Isa, you want to go first and then we'll have Brianne.
My dad is an engineer and my stepmom owns her own company and she's a financial advisor.
That is so cool. So do you know what kind of engineer your dad is?
Yeah, he is he works at SNC.
Wow, that is so cool. So you get to like hear it from him all the time, I bet, huh?
Yeah, he's the CFE. I can't remember what it is, but
yeah. That's
and then my
okay.
stepmom owns her own company. So.
Wow, that is so cool.
My mom teaches history, so all my parents do something.
That is so cool. Thank you for sharing. I love hearing about all of your parents that are like scientists and engineers. It's really inspiring. Brianne?
What if I already know what I want my career to be?
Okay. Do you want to share it? I would love to hear what you have in mind.
Well, I'm going to own my own restaurant. It's going to be called Bon Appetit. But then when I'm 35 and the elections roll around, I'm going to run for president of the United States of America.
That's an amazing goal. I think that is so ambitious, and I think you're very, very capable of doing it too. So keep on it. Do you think you need to know a little science since you want to be cooking and having your own restaurant? Do you think that's important? The science in STEM? Okay, cool. So I just want you guys to get thinking about that. And how about we do our quick warm-up activity? If you guys have your pasta, your dried pasta. Angelette, if you don't have pasta, or if anyone doesn't have like raw, like spaghetti like this, if you want to use toothpicks, if you want to use popsicle sticks, if you want to use pipe cleaners, all of that will work just fine. So just use whatever you have. You don't have to use just this. I'm in favor of using whatever's in your house. All right, so I'll give you guys a second to just get all of your supplies ready. So once you have that, I want you to, I'm gonna try and challenge myself to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll try and do 10 little pasta sticks, and I'm gonna try and build a structure. So my goal is for you guys to make it as tall as possible. So let's see how it goes.
Are we allowed to break them to stack them?
I'm gonna say no, just to make it a little more challenging.
And is it okay if we use gluten-free pasta?
Yeah, you can use that. Yeah, whatever you have. Oh, gluten-free pasta? Yeah, that's totally fine. Raya, how's it going? Good?
Yeah,
Good, okay. Do you have the pasta strands or the little pasta with you?
no, but you said we could use popsicle sticks, so
Yeah, that works just as well. So I had a lot of pasta in my cabinet. I didn't have any, I don't think I had any popsicle sticks, and I don't have any here. So I just used, just using pasta. But the goal is to make a tall structure. So I want you guys to pretend like you're engineers and kind of come up with the biggest structure you can with, I think when you are doing the engineering challenge, you're supposed to use like really, really minimal supplies to see what you come up with. So it's actually way harder than it looks too, because I don't even know how this structure is gonna stand. Angelette, do you have any like popsicle sticks or pasta or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just making sure you guys have everything. So does anyone have any ideas what careers they might be interested in already? Just, does anyone like Brianne already have ideas of what they're into and what they might like to do? Issa?
I might take over my stepmom's company.
Ooh, that's amazing. Yeah, and you'd be learning like right first, so that'd be amazing. Good one.
And I already know a lot of stuff about financial advising too.
Good. Well, that's a very, very valuable thing in life. People are always going to like stop you and ask you questions. So there's math involved in financial advising, right? I'm sure there's a lot of math involved. Molly, I saw your hand.
Maybe something with art.
With what?
Art.
Art? Oh, okay. So maybe, so there's STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And then there's STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math, because there's actually a lot of technical work goes into art. It's not just painting, and it's not just slapping things on a canvas and calling it a day. It's a lot of really technical stuff. So that's a great one. Sophia, what do you have? What are your ideas?
I kind of want to be a teacher.
Ooh, okay. So do you think you'll need to know science, technology, engineering, and math when you're a teacher?
Yeah.
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 Great. I'm glad you're thinking about that. If you had to pick a certain type of teaching, what would you do?
Like probably elementary school.
Okay, great. So maybe teach like a little bit of everything to the elementary schoolers.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice. I really wanted to be a teacher too, and I kind of am a little bit in a way, but teachers are amazing. Oh, Kalia, go ahead.
When I grow up, I kind of want to be, kind of like when I want to own my own restaurant or just work at a restaurant as a chef.
Ooh, that's awesome. So I don't think people realize this, but chefs, they have to know a lot of like background knowledge on like chemistry and like chemical reactions because there's just a lot of chemistry involved in cooking. So the more you know about it beforehand, the more you're able to make what you want to make. Like if you have a vision of something in your head, then having the background knowledge to know how to do it is really, really important. So that's a great one. I love that. Chefs are definitely scientists. And then Angie, you're using Q-tips. That's perfect. So excellent. I kind of have like a structure going. That's as far as I'm getting. I don't know if I'll get any higher up, but we'll see. Yeah, those are all great. So how about some of the oh, Ollie, do you have a question or comment?
My structure is even worse. It's just a pile.
It's just a pile. That's okay. Just try stuff. Maybe you could, my first thought was like to make a box because boxes are stable. I don't know if that's something that would work.
Triangles are the most stable shape, so triangles.
Yep, that is completely correct. Triangles are very stable. So how about the girls that are maybe unsure? What do you guys, can you raise your hand if you don't like know, or give me a hand or something if you don't know what you want to do when you get older? Emma, what's on your mind?
Well, I might want to work with horses and help herd cattle and stuff. But I don't really know yet.
Yeah, that's okay. That's totally fine to not know. Last week we met with an animal conservationist and she was really cool. She was talking about her work with like, just like what I said, animal conservation. She explored, her research was focused on exploring the human impact on wildlife. Let me pull up her website because it was so cool. So she made videos of like, have you guys seen those cameras that get stuck to the trees and then you can film the animals walking by? That's essentially what her research was. And that information helped the researchers know what environmental impact or like what the animals are up to on a daily, like what they're up to on a daily basis too, and just how to help them. Let me see.
Yes, what is having for dinner?
My dogs tried to eat the pasta. I switched to Q-tips. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect. Angelette is also using Q-tips, so that's great. So what else is everyone interested in? Like, what do you guys like to do? Isa?
I really I really want to also be an actor too. Or an influencer.
Oh, an influencer? Maybe you can be like a science influencer. That's not a bad goal. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to look for, oh, Amy. Her name is Amy Collins. She was with us last week. And yeah, her research focuses on getting images of animals and just exploring the environmental impacts on these animals. So she gave us tips on how to protect the environment and she talked about her work and it was really interesting. So she's got some bears here, like a bobcat here, I think. So really cool stuff. Yeah, she has a lot of videos of like bears and different animals in the environment. So I don't know what this is. I think it's a bobcat, but In some of the pictures, you can see like all of the fire damage and stuff. So that's definitely like a human, sometimes it's definitely a human impact on the environment. So they study on how to help the animals and help the environment and stuff too. So she was really cool. This is a really cute picture of this little, I think it's a bobcat or coyotes. So if you guys are passionate about animals, like Emma was just saying, she really likes horses and cattle and stuff like that. You can definitely benefit from STEM and having a STEM related career to help all the animals. Molly, you have a question?
Can you use the tape for the structure?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely.
How are we supposed to get these to stand up?
See, that's the challenge. That's the engineering challenge. So like I said earlier, I was thinking of making a box, but it wasn't the easiest. So I kind of have like a little triangular thing. And I think I can only get mine like maybe a foot.
Oh, can we use tape?
Yeah, you can use tape. So let me know how far up your structures get. I've only gotten maybe a foot of height. It's pretty hard. Macy, do you have a question? Oh, you're muted.
Excuse me, you know what? They should stop burning fires so the animals can live more. They
You know
should
what?
stop fires.
Mm-hmm. So that's actually one of the questions that we asked her last week. We were asking, how do humans prevent fires? And she pretty much was saying not to burn fires in like dry areas and get a permit and make sure that if you are safely burning a fire, you put it out too in like a campground. So she gave us some really great tips on like animal conservation. So really good thought, Macy. That's exactly what I asked her too. I was like, well, how do we help the animals by, not starting fires? That's a big part of her job too, is researching all of that. Kalia, you got a thought?
No, my whole structure just like snapped.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Yeah, mine did too. I think like some of mine broke because the pasta strands are not like super stable. So that's also part of the challenge.
I can't get it to stand up.
I know it's really hard. Yeah, don't be discouraged if you can't get it to stand up. Mine just keeps falling over. That's why it's that's why it's an engineering challenge. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a sentence and I want you to try and finish it because we're doing STEM career exploration. So what are your thoughts? So if I like animals, I can be a blank.
Zookeeper.
Oh, zookeeper, great.
Zoologist.
Zoologist, Brianne.
That what we were just talking about, an animal conservationist.
Yep, absolutely. That's a great one too. We had a marine biologist on for the Daisy meeting, and she was great too. She answered a lot of really awesome questions about her research. And yeah, Molly.
Could be like a farmer.
Yeah, farmers need to know like a lot about animals, right? About like animal rearing and stuff. Great. Okay, how about this one? If I like baking, I can be a blank. Brianne, I saw your hand up.
Chef.
Chef. Molly.
Baker.
Baker. Any other hands? Those are great. You need a lot of chemistry, a lot of like measuring too. You have to measure things really precisely and do a lot of math too. Like if you're baking in bulk, like if you're making a wedding cake or something, you're going to need to know how to like double the recipe, and you're going to need to like double it and use math, or you'll need to tweak it to make it right. But it's all just like a chemical reaction. So they need to have a lot of like chemistry background to like understand all of that. Isa? Oh, I couldn't hear you. Can you, one more time? Oh no, I think Zoom is cutting your audio out. Do you want to type it in the chat? A little wonky. I don't know why I can't hear you. It's completely quiet. But yeah, put it in the chat and I'll read it out loud. And what about if you like the ocean? Brianne, I saw your hand.
Marine biologist.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we had, like I said, we had a marine biologist on for the Daisy meeting. That was great. Kalia?
Oh, I was gonna say marine biologist too, and my sister is a Daisy. She was talking about the marine biologist.
Yeah, did she like her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she answered a lot of shark questions. Everyone had like tons of shark questions, so that was really cute. So Issa said own a restaurant. Yes, you need to know a lot of like math to own a restaurant. You need to know how to cook too, which involves chemistry and baking and stuff. Brianne?
Can I just show off how high I got it because I'm not sure how long it'll stay up.
Yeah, let's see it. Oh, nice. So you made like a little triangular structure.
Yep.
Cool, cool, cool. That looks awesome. Good job.
It took a long time to get it to stand up.
Yeah, it was pretty hard. Araya, how's yours going?
Well, my popsicle sticks are really short, so it's not really
Well,
tall.
yeah. Well, since I'm using 10 spaghetti strands, maybe you can use like 20 popsicle sticks, but I understand if you don't want to be building like a structure all night either. Cool. Oh, I saw Molly's hand and then we'll go back to Brianne.
For like the ocean like stuff, you could be like a submarine diver person,
Mm-hmm. So
a ship captain.
a ship captain, that's a great one. They need to know a lot of like geography and like cartography and how to like the coordinate system. They need to know like the coordinate system when you're on sea. So that's got to be really intimidating. Let's see, what is a submarine? I'm trying to think of what like profession that'd be. Give me just a second. Submarine. Let's see if Google can figure it out. Oh, it's saying like a lot of like Navy stuff. So I'll look into that, but that's a really good thought. So like operating ships and boats and submarines, that would be a very technical, I feel like that would be very STEM based too. Brianne?
I also got another tower. I could have gone farther, but I didn't want to waste too much pasta. But
Oh, that's,
it's like a Jenga tower.
oh, cool. So you have them like interwoven.
Uh-huh.
That is such a good idea. That's a really great idea. That would involve a lot of pasta though. You're right. Very cool. Sophia, okay, Sophia, you said you wanted to be a teacher, right? Okay. Here, let's do another one of these little fill in the blank ones. Okay, so you said marine biologist, that was great. How about if I like blank, oh, sorry, if I like plants, I can be a blank. How about Emma?
A botanist.
Oh, okay, great, great. You took that right out of my mouth. That's perfect. Okay, anyone else have any ideas? Go ahead, Brianne.
If you like the garden, then and you could have like a greenhouse where you plant all natural vegetables, and you could experiment with chemicals to find in the like different chemicals that can make the plants go healthier and faster.
Oh yeah, so a lot of chemistry in farming. So that's a great one. So maybe coming up with like pesticide-free farming. So girls, we have Dr. Samantha McBride, who is in the waiting room. So she is an engineer. She got her PhD in, I believe, mechanical engineering, and we're gonna talk to her in just a second. So if you guys want to pause on your little structures, I'm gonna let her in. And just think of some questions too. If you guys have any questions, feel free to like raise your hand and ask her. She'd be happy to answer your questions, okay? All right, I'm gonna let her in. Oh, Isa, love the structure. It's very tall. I like that you like made the base really solid. Looks good. Sam, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining.
No problem.
How are you? You're in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey.
It's a little late, but thank you for joining. I think it's 9 o'clock her time. So
Yeah, no problem.
yeah, I appreciate you coming on.
That cute dog.
Oh, thank you. This is Bernoulli. He's named after a scientist.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's so cute. So from what I understand, you have a PhD in mechanical engineering, master's in chemical engineering, and you did an undergrad in environmental science,
Yep.
right? Okay, that's
That is correct.
great. So can you talk to us about your research and what you've done as a scientist so far?
Yeah, definitely. So I've worked in all those different areas of engineering, but the thing that kind of unites them is that I've been working on fluids and especially water. So I'm very interested in water quality and trying to come up with new ways to get water that's previously been very dirty and make it clean so that people can drink it.
Nice. So how common of an issue is it that our water isn't as clean as we think it is? Is it pretty?
So here in the US, it's pretty good because there are standards that everyone is supposed to adhere to for how clean the water is. So for example, one metric is called turbidity, which when you look at a glass of water, if it kind of looks cloudy, you know that there are a lot of little particles in it. And then if there are other chemicals that the government controls for. But in some cases, that doesn't always work out. It's like the case of Flint, Michigan, where they had, I think, a lot of arsenic in the water that wasn't supposed to be there. So it is still a problem. And part of the reason why the water isn't always treated as well as it should be is because sometimes it costs a lot of money to do that.
Mm-hmm. So does your research focus on making it like more feasible to do it and more maybe like cost less money to do it?
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of research is focused on trying to take something that we already do, but maybe make it cheaper or more efficient, more energy efficient. It just, because that's what drives a lot of research is just the economy.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what's your favorite part about engineering?
Oh boy, so many. I like that I get to basically solve puzzles all day. I get to work on things that I think are very interesting. So I'm lucky in that aspect. No one's really telling me what I need to study. I can just, if I'm interested in a problem, I can just research it. And it's really exciting when you have a new problem and you find the solution, just like solving a puzzle.
Mm-hmm. So what's been like your most successful puzzle solving?
Yeah. So I can share a video if you want, maybe after we're done with the activity. But one thing I found is how to take crystals that grow from dirty water and actually eject them from materials, which could help save some money in water treatment facilities.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't realize that. I know you've talked to me about it before too, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
What does your day-to-day look like as a scientist?
Yeah, so it's very flexible and honestly, it changes from day to day. So some days I go into the lab and I conduct experiments. So I figure out what problem am I trying to solve and what experiments do I need to do in order to solve that problem. So I go to the lab and then I just do whatever I want. I use the microscope. I use some other fancy equipment sometimes to find different things. But then other days I'm just working from home and I'm reading new papers, maybe reading some books, maybe just thinking about a problem or doing a little bit of math. So it's very variable.
That's nice. Yeah, a lot of jobs don't offer that like flexibility, so that's interesting. So how long did you go to school for?
So I did 4 years of the undergraduate degree, and that's to get the engineering degree. And people, of course, can stop there and then just work as an engineer. And then I went to do a master's, which was 2 years, and then a PhD, which took 4. So I guess in total, that's 10 years, which sounds like a lot, except for the master's and the PhD. It was almost more like a job than it was going to school, because I was taking fewer classes and I was being paid to do research. So 5-ish years of actual classes, and then another 5 years of kind of working as a scientist before I got the PhD.
That is so cool. So do you have it could be a woman scientist or otherwise, do you have a like inspirational person that like inspired you to go into science?
That inspired me. I mean, my professors at undergrad were very helpful in encouraging me. It was just a very different feel going to college than it was going to middle school or to high school, because you get to kind of study whatever you feel like. And the professors who work in that department also really care about this topic. And so just them being so excited about the same topic you're excited about is what really made me want to go into research.
That's awesome. So you kind of like found what you wanted to do, and then other people were excited and they like helped motivate you and put you in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. I was excited about doing something with water. I kind of learned in high school about some of the water problems that, we have on Earth. And that made me want to go and study it and do some research that maybe makes a difference.
So what were your favorite classes in school, just in general, like elementary, middle, high school?
So I think my favorite classes were, I guess, writing, English. Yeah, it was more of what they call the soft skills. So like, grammar, doing vocabulary. I actually didn't really like math all that much. I got a C in 7th grade in math, which is, a lot of people think that to be an engineer or any type of scientist, you need to be really, really good at math in school. And it has to be something that you really love. But the truth is, I actually use a lot of those communication skills like reading and writing as much or more in my career than I do math.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how much like writing is involved in the research process. So I know a lot of girls are super interested in writing. So about you guys, do you guys have any questions for her so far? All right. Do you want to share that video? Let me make you a co-host.
Sure. So I have a couple different videos I can share. I don't know if you guys are interested in the whole like kind of 5-minute spiel or just a couple videos here and there.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever you want to share. I'd love to see it.
Great. Okay. So let me just share, I guess, the whole screen. Cool. So like I said, I work in water and I study basically the science of fluids. Sometimes people call us fluid mechanicians, fluid mechanics. And so fluids include water, but also oil or soda, or you can use your imagination to think of other fluids in your house, oil and gas that runs your car, for example.
Oh, Issa, did you have a question? Your hand was up. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh no, Issa, your audio is muted. Can you type it in the chat and then I'll read it out loud? Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, sure. So one of my specialties that I've been working on recently is something called superhydrophobic surfaces, playing a little. Okay, so a super hydrophobic surface, that's a Latin word. And when you break it down, the super, of course, we know it means really. And then hydro is for water. And then phobic means to be afraid of. So I've been working on super hydrophobic materials, which means really afraid of water. They really don't like water. Like think a cat, it doesn't want to be anywhere near water. And one example might be if you drop a drop of water on your desk, it'll kind of bead up, versus if you drop it on a piece of paper or a cloth, the water is going to soak into that. Yeah. Cool, so I have a video here that kind of demonstrates the super hydrophobic surfaces. So this is an astronaut playing with hydrophobic materials in space. So can you guys see this all right? Or do you want me to go to YouTube so it can be full screen?
I can see it fine. Are you guys all good too? Thumbs up. Oh,
Let's go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube.
Hi, this is Scott Kelly aboard the internet.
It's easy enough to just switch over.
thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Scott Kelly aboard the International Space Station. I wanted to do a little demonstration of these paddles. They're called hydrophobic paddles, and they repel water, kind of like a raincoat. But up here on the space station, they allow you to play ping pong with a ball of water, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so since it repels the water, he doesn't even have to whack it really. It hits the thing and it bounces right off.
Wow, it didn't even separate.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd have to whack it pretty hard. And the reason it actually stays around like that is because of something called surface tension.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And so on Earth, those drops are going to break up because of gravity. There's something called a balance between the force of gravity and the force of surface tension. And you can actually do some pretty simple math that shows why raindrops are the size that they are because of a balance between gravity and surface tension. And then of course, when you remove gravity, there's no longer a constraint on how big those drops can get.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Before I forget, Issa asked, how long have you been doing this job? So it's a really great question.
Yeah, so my current job, I've only been at for about a year. I've been working at Princeton University, but I guess in terms of being a scientist, like someone who's paid to do science, that started since my master's. So I guess 7 years now, maybe 8.
Wow. That's awesome. So you've done some amazing research then too.
Yeah, and so since NASA is very interested in drops and super hydrophobic materials, I actually had an opportunity to do an experiment, not on the space station because I'm not an astronaut, but in something called a parabolic flight, which is what they use to train the astronauts to get used to the microgravity environment. So it's basically just a regular airplane, except it goes up very, very fast, and then it comes down very fast. So you get about 30 seconds of microgravity at a time. And so I actually have a video of that as well. Need to mute that. So I took this video, like I'm sitting in a chair, strapped in with my seatbelt on, which is why I'm not flying around. And I'm recording my friends as they all float around doing our experiment. And you can actually, if you watch in the beginning, my friend kicks my other friend in the face right there.
Oh no.
Because they go up so quickly. And so down strapped to the floor is our experiment, which we'd finished, which is why we're now able to kind of play around.
Wow, I did not realize scientists had this much fun. I thought,
yeah, oh my God, it was so much fun. It was, they call it the vomit comet sometimes because it's like a roller coaster. And so that's actually why I was strapped in the chair, is because I had gotten a little bit nauseous. And if you're going to throw up in this environment, they want you to be strapped in so that it doesn't, float away.
So it doesn't shuffle around the whole plane.
Yeah, that's no one wants that.
That is so cool. Wow, that looks like a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, was there a question?
I think Macy was just saying it was cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't realize, like I said, I didn't realize scientists had so much fun. That looks
Yeah.
an awesome time. Does anyone have any other questions? While we're on the topic of like water and engineering and stuff. So do you have any tips for how we can keep the water clean, like as clean as possible? And oh, Macy, do you have a question?
Yeah. You know what? My dad is a water trucking authority leaks, and he's a trucking water authority. He works where pipes are, and it gets a little wet sometimes.
Yeah, he works where the pipes are. Yeah.
For Truckee Mountain Water Authority.
Oh, he works for oh, awesome. I know a couple of people who work there. I did my degree at UNR, so that's awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm an inspector on the construction side, but I used to be a pipe fitter as well. So
Awesome.
not an operator, not a mechanic.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. We did a tour of the water treatment plant a couple times during undergrad, and you can see all the different processes that the water has to go through before it's considered clean enough for us all to drink.
Yeah, it's very intensive to get it there. Issa's hand up, and I don't know if Issa, I don't know if your audio is working yet, but if it is, feel free to shout out. Oh no, it's still not working. Maybe try leaving and coming back, and we'll see if that works. Sometimes that helps. So do you have any tips for us on how we can try our best to keep the water clean or conserve water and maybe make the most of that resource since it is so precious?
Yeah. So to be honest, one of the best ways to conserve water is by the food that we eat. So a lot of livestock requires quite a bit of water to produce, because if you think about the life cycle of a cow is drinking a lot of water, but then they're also eating a lot of crops that required the water. So to eat a single hamburger is actually waste a little bit more water than even taking very long showers. So the good news is you can take long showers and not really feel too guilty about it. But it's more the choices you make when it comes to what you consume and what products you buy if you want to preserve water.
Wow, that's a really great tip. I didn't really think about it that way. Thank you. Let's see, Issa, let's try unmuting you. One more time. I can't hear you. Dang, do you want to type if you want to type your question in the chat and we'll just answer it really quick. Yeah, so I think you already went over this, but I just want to ask you again, how do you feel like you're making a difference in the world?
Yeah, so I feel like I'm making a difference partially because I help to train new scientists. So I work with students sometimes. So that's really fun. But also with my research, in some cases, there are direct applications for it. Like I said, with the kind of materials that eject crystals, which I can show next if you guys want. So it's nice to know that some of the things I work on will be able to be translated into new technologies that people can use to help make the world more sustainable.
That's amazing. That's so cool. Oh, Isa, you want to try again? Dang, I still cannot hear you. So Isa, if you can hear me, if you want to type it in the chat, and then I'll ask your question for you. Yeah, so I'd love to see like another quick video if you have one of like the actual crystals, because I think they're great.
Let's see. Oh, my screen. Okay. So here is a video I made that shows my research. It's showing some crystals that are going to eject from a surface. So here is just a drop of salt water. It's just normal water like you might get from the ocean, just water full of table salt. And it's evaporating. And as it evaporates, these crystals are forming due to precipitation. So you can do the same experiment. You can take some water, dissolve salt in it, and then leave it outside in the sun, and you'll have crystals eventually that form. And so here we have the actual ejection of the entire surface, or of the entire salt from that surface due to the superhydrophobicity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Going right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, and so that whole video is on YouTube. It's called Crystal Critters, if you guys are interested in watching it later.
Yeah, I'll send out that link so we can check it out. So they all form like different structures?
Yeah, they do. So it's a little bit random which structures they're going to form. They always eject from the surface, but in some cases you get some really funky looking things. Like in the next slide, I think it's going to show a couple different crystal critters. That's what I'm calling them. That's the fun part of being a scientist. You get to name things. So I named these crystal critters. There's one that kind of looks like a crab, an elephant, a droid from Star Wars.
That is so cool. Molly is asking, how do you do it again? I didn't hear that part. I think make the crystals.
How do I make the crystals?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's actually a very easy experiment. All I do is I take some salt, sodium chloride, the exact same stuff that you put on your food. I dissolve it in water, but I take a lot of it. I take as much as I can possibly get into that water. And so that's the solution I'm using. And then I take that water, and in this case, I'm taking just a small drop of it, and I'm putting it on one of my super hydrophobic surfaces. And then as it evaporates, the crystals begin to grow.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and this is how we get salts. You know, we take ocean water. I mean, in some cases, they take ocean water and they just let the water evaporate. And what you have left behind is the salt and whatever else was in the water that couldn't go into the vapor phase with the water.
Very cool. Yeah, thanks for that question, Molly. And then Isa was asking, can you change gravity in space in the station?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. That's something we would love to be able to do, because right now a lot of experiments are looking at with gravity, without gravity. But what we like to do is have multiple different levels of gravity. And so you can't really change the gravity level in the space station. You can kind of imitate it by something called centrifugal force. So that's when you rotate something very fast, and it imposes a force that's kind of like gravity. But another idea that scientists have is to use the moon. So that's kind of, you know, no gravity, moon's gravity, which is a little bit less than Earth, and then Earth's gravity. And then you have 3 points to compare instead of just having yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, really great question, Molly. Or I'm sorry, really great question, Isa. Perfect. So thank you so much for coming and talking to us about your experience as a scientist. It's so cool. Girls, if you want to give her a hand, thank you so much for being here.
Bye.
Thank you.
I hope you have a fun, have a good night.
Oh, thank you so much.
I know it's getting late.
Yeah, feel free to let me know if there are any follow-up questions or.
Yeah, absolutely. I will email them if there's any.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 So that was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys learned something. I definitely learned a whole lot. But really, really quick, let's just like for a minute or two, if you guys want to unmute yourself and just take turns. What are some things you guys are interested in? Because this is about you guys and and careers that you guys like. So it doesn't have to be engineering. It doesn't have to be like Dr. Sam was into water. It doesn't have to be what she's interested in. What do you guys like?
I like to be a vet.
Okay, vet, that's a great one. That's a STEM one. Brianne?
Well, you've already heard I'm going to own a restaurant and become president of the United States of America. But I'm also thinking about creating biodegradable plastic, as in plastic bags, so there's less pollution there.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's a fantastic one. Anyone else want to shout out? Just unmute yourself and shout out if you have any passions or questions. Like Sam was saying, if you have any questions you want answered with your research. Molly?
So like in our backyard, we have this hill. So me and my brother, like, we're riding down it on our bikes, and then we took like some dirt from like just around the yard and made like a little jump, and we're still working on it, and it's like really fun.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Dealing a lot with gravity there. Anyone else have any like other passions or interests that maybe that could follow them into their like jobs when they're older? Anyone else? I really like STEM and I get to be your troop leader and I get to tell you all about STEM. So that's something I love to do. But we'll consider that to be our friendship circle question. Anyone else want to add anything? I don't want to miss anyone. Angelette, Sophia, you guys have any ideas of what career? Emma?
Well, like I said before, like just horses and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
definitely
funny.
need a lot of people to care for horses. It's a big job.
Just like kind of being a teacher. That's what I really want to do.
Mm-hmm. Be a teacher and you want to teach the STEM, right? You're going to teach the STEM. Good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh yeah, Kalia said chef. And then did I miss anyone? I think that was everyone, right?
Angelette has her hand up.
Oh, Angelette, go ahead.
A doctor.
A doctor. Do you think doctors do a lot of STEM in their job?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tons. That's a great one. Okay, so we'll just do, everyone put your hands up. All right, we'll go 1, 2, 3. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Thank you all for joining. Have a great day.
You too. Have a good night.
Thank you, Macy.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye. Bye, Molly. Bye, Kalia.